So what are the different driving modes in the new Toyota Prius, and do they really make a difference? We're going to run through them all. I'm going to take a ride. We'll go through each one and see if there's any different feeling or maybe responsiveness of the car when we go through them. But before I do that, I've got the handy manual here, and I'm just going to briefly tell you what they are. First of all, we have normal mode. Normal mode, according to the manual, provides an optimal balance of fuel economy, quietness, and dynamic performance, suitable for normal driving. Next up, we have Eco Drive mode. Eco Drive mode helps the driver accelerate in an eco-friendly manner and improve fuel economy through moderate throttle characteristics by controlling the operation of the air conditioning system, which is heating and cooling apparently. When Eco Drive mode is selected, Eco Drive mode indicator comes on. So it tells you in the gauge cluster that it's in Eco mode. Number 3, Sport mode. Controls the hybrid system to provide quick, powerful acceleration. I like that. This mode also expands the possible rate of deceleration by operating the accelerator pedal and enables acceleration-deceleration control based on the driver's intentions. So you're more in control. This changes the steering feel, making it suitable for when agile driving response is desired, such as when driving on roads with many curves. Hitting the twisties, in other words. Let's see. When sport mode is selected, sport mode indicator comes on. Again, another indication in the gauge cluster right above the steering wheel. And lastly, number 4, custom mode. This one interests me a little bit. Allows you to drive with the powertrain, steering wheel, and air conditioning system functions set to your preferred settings. So the way that you want it. Custom mode settings can only be changed on the drive mode customization display of the multimedia display. So, in other words, on the display system right here is where apparently you would change the different modes or different features of the custom mode setting. When custom mode is selected, a custom mode indicator is displayed on the screen. That's it. That's just a real brief rundown. It's actually all of the rundown of the different modes. Now, if you're not familiar, to change the modes, you have this button here, which will run you through, not this button, this little toggle switch, I guess, which will run you through the different modes, and then they'll show up on the cluster. Real quick before we get going, let me give you a close-up. I'm going to go ahead and change the mode or pull up the screen, and you can see right now it shows you custom, sport, normal, and eco. And it will also flash these on the multimedia screen. If you run through them, you've got sport, custom. Let's go back down. This is just normal. For normal, it doesn't tell you anything. That's interesting on the multimedia screen. And then lastly, eco. So let me put you on hat cam and we're going to go for a ride. Okay, we're going to go ahead and change the mode. Up on the screen there, you can see we're in normal. We're just going to drive a little bit in normal, not too far, because I've been in normal a lot, and I don't know that we're going to feel anything markedly different. I mean, it is just normal mode, right? So we'll probably drive maybe to the end of the street or something here, or the end of this road. And then we're going to switch over to the next one down, which I can't remember which one it is. So it'll be a surprise to me as well, as soon as we make this turn here and get onto a different street. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and hit the button. Bring it up, and we're going to go from normal into sport mode, which is where we are right now. And it says that on the gauge cluster right below the speed readout. So we're in sport mode, and I really won't notice a difference until we get up here and we can make a turn. But I have tested this before, and I can tell you sport mode really stiffens up the Toyota Prius. You particularly notice it in the steering when you're making maybe sharper turns, or if you're in a neighborhood or something and you're turning more 90 degree, I guess, down side streets and stuff like that. But you can feel it even when you're coming to a stop like this in the way that it responds. So here we go, and it definitely takes more effort. I think when you're used to driving in normal mode, you're really going to notice the difference there, because you're going to try to turn the same way that you normally would, but you're going to feel more resistance, if you will, in the steering. Probably because it's electronically controlled, so it's giving you feedback as you're turning. Good as the directions or the manual said for maybe really curvy road driving, or if you just want to go out and have some fun, I would think it's a lot more responsive when it comes to that. We're going to take a turn here and then we'll straighten out and we'll get into eco mode next. And as I'm making this turn, I definitely can feel it. There is more pressure required to make the turn on the steering wheel. And what that does is just make everything, I guess, a little more precise, just kind of tightens everything up. When you kind of rock the wheel, you can feel more response out of the tires than you can when you're in the other modes. Okay, so we're gonna now go to, I think, let's see, we're not going to go to custom because I don't have anything set up for custom. So we're going to go all the way down to eco mode. And right away, I can feel a difference in the steering wheel. Although I will say eco mode, to me, the steering wheel seems to feel more responsive or tighter than normal mode. I don't know why that is. You would think eco mode might be more loosey-goosey. But it's really not. It seems to be more, gives you more feedback or more response. We're gonna go ahead and take a turn at this light. I want to see what it feels like to take a real turn as opposed to just a curve, but I can feel it as I'm navigating the lane here, if you will, just kind of lining the car up. I do like how Toyota offered these different modes in the Prius. It just kind of makes the car even more interesting to drive. Let's take this turn, and it is a nice smooth. It's not something that really feels like it takes a whole lot more effort, more so like it does when you're in sport mode, but you definitely can feel a little bit more resistance, I think, when I'm in eco mode. Now, as far as fuel economy in eco mode, I haven't really noticed a huge change yet. I've been running it. I made a video a little while back and I had stated I was going to stay in eco mode, which I have been, but I haven't driven the car a whole lot. Not enough, I don't think, for a fair description of what that mode does to the car as far as fuel economy goes. So that will be coming up in a future video as I get more miles under my belt and we take a look at the readout for what our fuel economy is. So that's just a quick run through of the different modes. There are 4 of them. Again, I'm really happy that Toyota included these in the Prius. It just makes it even more interesting to drive. Leave a comment if you've gotten the new Prius and you've run through those modes. Do you notice any difference, and what mode do you prefer to drive in? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.